why we're here.
Right?
And don't forget about the people that are doing that lunch.
Oh, yes,
At the Tuscan, the service. The reservation was for
Let's do this.
12:15 at Tuscan if you signed up for that with Gail.
Yes, there was 5 people that had signed up.
Oh, I'm still.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
You look beautiful.
Isn't it a good cause? There you
Thank you.
go. Are you guys learning from everybody else going?
Yes.
Everybody here?
That is the beauty of this. I feel
I know,
you
but
learn
I'm
more when you don't go because you're not like.
Yeah, I do need a mic. That would be helpful.
Take notes for yourself, guys.
Test. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you just tap this mic?
I did.
Oh, you did? Is it good? Hang on, I'm gonna turn this one on.
All right.
And remember to stay in front of the light if you can.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
We good? He looked in the stands, searching for a familiar face. But he didn't see one. It should have been one of the greatest days of his life, his final college baseball game. But none of his family was there. You see, his dad had passed the year before, and his mom, now a single mom, had to make the very difficult choice when she couldn't get off work to be there, to keep her job to support the kids, instead of quitting her job to be there to support him. He took a deep breath, walked out onto the field with the rest of his team, and he accepted his award. She sat at the computer at her desk with tears streaming down her face. She had just received a photo, and it was a bright blue baseball bag with a beautiful yellow rose placed carefully on top of it. And another mom had accepted that rose in her place. He had sent her the photo to show that he really loved her and he understood that she couldn't be there. But to her, it just caused waves of guilt and regret and missing this key event in his life. I was a single mom. I'm a veteran, and I was working at a nonprofit serving veterans, and I loved what I did. My late husband was a veteran, and thanks to all the veterans in the room for what you do. I was making a difference. I was serving my passion, but I was missing key events in my kid's life. So as I sat there with the tears running down my face, wondering, is there another way where I could get some freedom and be there for my kids and not have regret, I remembered a service that had saved me $2,500 when my late husband had passed. And I thought, I wonder if becoming an entrepreneur is the answer I'm looking for. So I started my business, and I met people before work, I met them at lunch, and I met them after work, because I was still working full-time for the nonprofit. But I had to prove to myself and to the kids that this could be a way to support them and yet have some choices and freedom. Well, I'm grateful to say a lot of people saw the same value in the services I had done, and they enrolled for the membership. And within 7 months, I was able to become a volunteer where I used to be an employee. I had that freedom of choice that I so desperately sought. When my youngest daughter came to me and said, "Mom, can you chaperone the choir field trip to Ireland, Wales, and London?" I didn't have to say, "Let me see if I can get 10 days off work." I said, "Self, can I take 10 days off work?" And Self said, "Have a great time with your daughter." When my middle daughter called me and said, "Mom, this weekend, my maid of honor is going to be in town and we are going to pick out my wedding dress, and I would love for you to be there. Changed my schedule, bought a ticket, and I was there for that key event in my daughter's life. You know, we go through things so that we can help other people through similar life experiences. We can also learn lessons from the challenges that we face. And yes, I missed that key event in my son's life, but it made me take action to where I did not miss more events in my daughter's lives. And that to me was a blessing. By a show of hands, raise your hand if life has ever kicked you in the gut and you feel like you're left trying to catch your breath. Thank you. I see you, I feel you, and I understand. You know, 13 years ago, actually this week, my Facebook post said, "Life just kicked me in the gut. I'm struggling to catch my breath." And I was thinking about how I deal with pain, and I realized the way that I do it is holding my breath. You know, in childbirth, they're saying, "Diane, breathe for the baby, because I am holding my breath." When my late husband's diagnosis came in February 8th of 2011, I found myself holding my breath. When he passed, and I was now a young widow in my 40s, which I never expected, and a single mom, I found myself holding my breath. And then when I stared at that picture of that blue baseball bag with the yellow rose on it, for 2 years, every time I saw that picture, I had to hold my breath. Because to me, I had failed at that time as a mom. And I was thinking about this, I realized resilience can be your advantage. And one of the tools to being resilient is to remember to breathe. So I'd like to take you through BREATHE as an acronym of some key tips to being resilient. The first is B, believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your company. If you're a person of faith as I am, believe in your God. Believe in your higher power. Realize that this faith is going to take you through things you never thought you would go through, and you'll realize that you're not alone. R, reflect, reassess, reimagine. Reflection lets you know the lessons you've learned, but also the lessons you can share with other people that can make a difference in their life. Reassess. Yes, your priorities have probably changed. Things have had to change. When we go through things, it does change us, but we can reimagine what we are meant to do. E, engage and encourage. You know, my late husband passed on a Monday, and I talked to the girls, and I said, if you don't want to go to school tomorrow, it's your choice. I said, we can hide under the covers and never come out again, or we can continue to go out and make the difference we're known for doing, but it's your choice. And thankfully, their circle of friends was their advanced choir, and there was a concert that week. So they decided to go to the mandatory rehearsal on Tuesday night and then perform on Wednesday, and then they kept going. They continued to engage and encourage. I'll tell you another story. I had a friend who did not, and she cocooned and she kind of closed up inside. And she lost her spouse a year after I lost my late husband. And I had coffee with her, and 2 weeks later she had decided she could no longer live without him, and she took her own life. She did not engage and encourage, and that did not help her to heal. A, accept that things have changed, and accept help. We are all strong people, and it's very humbling to accept help from other people. But when my late husband was in hospice especially, people wanted to bring meals, they wanted to help us, and we were able to accept that help very gratefully. But accept that things have changed. When we come to the realization that yes, things have changed, but I'm going to grow through this, I'm going to serve others, it gives us that peace to go out and do what we're supposed to do. T is trust the process. Growth is a process. Getting through things is a process. But as you trust that things are happening for you, not to you, you will be able to work through that process and continue to breathe. H, happiness is a choice. Have hope. What refuels you? What refreshes you? Is it taking a walk on a sunny day? Is it seeing a beautiful sunset? Is it creating a painting or art? Whatever refreshes and refuels your soul, realize happiness is a choice. You do have hope, but do what gives you that. And sometimes you just need to take that time. E is expect great things and exceed expectations. I always told my kids, if you expect the best, you're going to find the best in people. If you expect the worst, you're going to find that too. But of yourself, expect great things. You were made to make a difference. You were made to impact others. And you were made to go through things, not camp out and live there, right? So as we learn to breathe, as we realize that resilience can be our advantage, we can also take it to serve other people. What I'd like to invite you to do is to connect with me to see if we can be strategic referral partners or if I can help someone you know. If you go to thequicksurvey.com, we can connect through there as I can get your information, but also you may enter to win the gift card that I give away every month to those who do connect with me. As we reflect, as we reassess, as we reimagine, as we continue to breathe, the one thing we can realize is our test can lead to our testimony. Our mess can become our message. Our story can be used for His glory, and we'll realize that resilience can be our advantage. Thank you.
That is a memorized talk.
That's getting better and better.
Not
and
even
better.
memorized, it's well rehearsed. That's a good word.
Yeah.
A well rehearsed talk. It made sense. It went in order. It ended with the transition. The transition was smooth, using what she was talking about during the talk, and the offer made sense to what she was talking about.
And it has grown a lot since
Yes,
you've done it. Just
yes.
the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
I love the breathe, We even talked about creating a free gift that had all of the steps for breathe. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with that. Are we stopping or are we continuing?
I have no notes for her at all. I have nothing. I listened to the whole thing. I didn't write one thing down.
I listened to it and it was a vulnerable connection, and it seems like she's the best emotional support.
I couldn't hear what you said, Lauren. I'm sorry.
I saw that you made a vulnerable connection, and you seem to be a great emotional support.
Knowing her, that we become really good friends. She's like a sister and a mom and a friend wrapped in one, right? And that's what I get from when you share that. It's like that safe person to go, oh my gosh, yeah, I want this person. I need that person's help, right? So not only does your message land, I think you as a being lands, which is ultimately what you're up for, right? You want to be truthful, you want to be truthful and show that, and that's why the audience goes, okay, I trust this person. How many times have you got, and you know what else was great? Her call to action within. How many of you guys have done X? I've done that through this. It gets you engaged to respond to her. And it allows her, or allows the speaker to go, okay, they're not with me. Hey, listen, I'm going to ask you again. How many of you have been through an experience where you feel like you got smacked down? That keeps you engaged, right? You can add those in. It just doesn't have to be this oratory speech direct. You can ask questions. Are we going to do?
No, Eliana is going to do the next session. Woohoo! So we are done with this session. We're back at 2:30.